If you are over 50, then there is something happening inside your body right now that nobody has properly explained to you. And it affects how fast you heal, how sharp your memory stays, how well your heart holds up, and honestly, how quickly you age from this point forward. It comes down to your stem cells. And I know that sounds like something from a science fiction movie or one of those expensive clinics you see advertised online. It's not. This is basic biology that is already happening inside you right now, whether you know about it or not. You have stem cells sitting in your bone marrow, in your gut, in the walls of your blood vessels, in your brain. Their only job is to replace what gets broken. Your gut lining wears out and rebuilds itself roughly every 5 days. Your blood vessels take small damage every time your blood pressure goes up. Your brain loses cells every single day just from normal use. And the things that fix all of that, the things that patch the walls and replace the lining and fill in the gaps, are your stem cells. When you were younger, this system worked beautifully, cuts healed fast. You bounce back from illness quickly. Your body just handled things. After 50, it slows down. Not because your stem cells disappear, not because they die off. They get sluggish. They divide more slowly. They make more mistakes when they do divide. And a growing number of them just stop working altogether. They're still sitting there. They're just idle. And this is not a small thing. Scientists now list stem cell exhaustion as one of the 12 fundamental mechanisms that actually drive aging. It's not a symptom of getting old. It's one of the causes. When the repair system slows down, everything else falls apart faster. But here's what changes everything. Those stem cells can be woken back up. The genes haven't been deleted. The pathways still exist. What's changed is the signals your body is sending them. And published research has now shown that specific, cheap, ordinary foods can change those signals. And in some cases, the numbers literally double. I want to walk you through exactly how that works, step by step. No jargon, no buzzwords, just the process in plain language, so it actually makes sense. Let's start inside your blood vessels because that's where some of the most dramatic evidence comes from. Every blood vessel in your body has a lining on the inside. Think of it like the smooth inner coating of a garden hose. That lining is alive. It's made of cells, and its job is to keep the vessel flexible, keep blood flowing smoothly, and keep things like cholesterol from burrowing into the vessel wall. When that lining is healthy, your blood pressure stays down, your circulation stays strong, and your heart doesn't have to work as hard. That lining takes damage every single day. Blood pressure spikes, scuff it up. Stress hormones irritate it. Oxidation wears it down. And the way your body repairs that damage is by sending repair cells through the bloodstream. These repair cells are made in your bone marrow, released into your blood, and they travel through your body looking for spots where the vessel lining is damaged. When they find damage, they patch it. They're a roaming maintenance crew for your entire cardiovascular system. After 50, your body releases fewer and fewer of those repair cells. The damage keeps coming at the same rate, but the crew showing up to fix it gets smaller. That's a big part of why heart disease risk goes up so sharply with age. Things aren't just breaking, they're not being fixed fast enough. Now, dark chocolate, real dark chocolate, 70% cacao or higher, contains natural compounds that, when they enter your bloodstream, signal your bone marrow to release more of those repair cells. It's not adding something foreign, it's telling a system that already exists inside you to start working harder again. And cardiologists at a major university hospital in California proved this. They took 16 heart disease patients, average age 64, already on medications, already being treated, and gave them a cocoa drink rich in these compounds twice a day for 30 days. At the end of the month, the number of repair cells circulating in their blood had more than doubled. On top of that, blood vessel function improved by 47%. That's an enormous number for something you drink. And the dose we're talking about is 1 ounce of dark chocolate a day, 2 small squares, 40 to 60 cents at any grocery store. So now your blood vessels have more repair cells showing up. But repair cells can only do their job if the tissue they're trying to fix is capable of rebuilding itself. And that brings us to a completely different kind of stem cell, the ones lining your gut, because your intestine is one of the most demanding organs in your body. It replaces its entire inner surface roughly every 5 days. That's one of the fastest renewal rates of any tissue you have. And it is completely dependent on stem cells to pull it off. As you get older, those gut stem cells lose their regenerative power. Your gut becomes slower to repair, slower to recover from infection, and more vulnerable to damage. In 2018, biologists at one of the top research universities in the country discovered that a single 24-hour fast doubled the regenerative capacity of intestinal stem cells in both young and old mice, and the old mice's stem cells started performing like young ones again. The reason is simple. Normally, those gut stem cells run on sugar. During a fast, when no food is coming in, they switch over to burning fat. And that fuel switch Just that change from sugar to fat flips on a set of genes that dramatically boost the cell's ability to rebuild tissue. When the researchers blocked that switch, fasting stopped working. When they triggered it artificially with a drug, they got the same benefit without any fasting. So the mechanism is clear. It's the fuel switch that does it. Then in 2024, the same lab published a follow-up that added something crucial. The biggest burst of stem cell activity doesn't happen while you're fasting. It happens when you eat again. The fast clears the deck. The first meal afterward triggers the rebuilding. You need both halves. And practically, you don't need to go a full 24 hours. If you finish dinner at 6 and don't eat until 8 the next morning, that's 14 hours. Research shows benefits starting at 12 to 14 hours. Many of you probably already do something close to this without realizing it, and it costs nothing. But here's the thing, you can double the repair cells in your blood vessels and double the regenerative power of your gut stem cells, and it still won't matter as much as it should if the environment around those stem cells is toxic. And after 50, for most people it is, because as you age, a growing number of your cells enter a state where they stop working but refuse to die. They just sit there in your tissues doing nothing useful. But they're not harmless. They leak inflammatory chemicals into the area around them like a broken pipe slowly flooding a basement. Those chemicals damage the healthy cells nearby, including your stem cells. They make the whole neighborhood worse. Scientists call them zombie cells. And the more of them you accumulate, the harder it gets for your stem cells to function, even if those stem cells are otherwise healthy. This is one of the main reasons stem cell activity drops with age. It's not just that your stem cells are slowing down, it's that they're surrounded by cells that are actively making things worse. So what if you could clear those zombie cells out without harming the good ones? In 2022, a government-funded aging research team tested dozens of natural plant compounds looking for exactly that. The ability to kill zombie cells while leaving healthy cells alone. Ginger stood out. 2 compounds found in ginger eliminated zombie cells while leaving actively dividing cells completely untouched. That selectivity is the whole point. You remove the troublemakers without touching the workers. And a 2024 review looked at ginger's effects across all 12 of those fundamental aging mechanisms I mentioned earlier, including stem cell exhaustion, chronic inflammation, and DNA damage, and found that ginger showed positive effects on every single one. A thumb-sized piece of fresh ginger root, about 1 ounce, is enough for a cup of tea or to grate into a stir fry, 20 to 25 cents. And this is where it gets really interesting, because once you clear the zombie cells and improve the environment, the stem cells that were being suppressed can actually respond to the other things you're doing. The chocolate is sending more repair cells. The fasting is boosting gut regeneration. The ginger is cleaning up the toxic neighborhood. But there's one area left where stem cell decline hits people the hardest and worries them the most, and that's the brain. You have a small group of stem cells in a part of your brain called the hippocampus. That's the region responsible for memory and learning. These cells make new neurons throughout your entire life. Scientists used to think that wasn't possible, but it is. The problem is that after 50, this process slows down considerably. Fewer new brain cells means less mental flexibility, slower recall, and that familiar feeling of your thinking getting a little less sharp year after year. What people chalk up to just getting older is partly their brain's stem cells becoming less active. Green tea directly addresses this. A compound in green tea was shown in a 2012 study to significantly increase the production of new neural stem cells in the hippocampus. A 2016 follow-up confirmed those results and found it also increased the rate at which those stem cells matured into actual functioning neurons. Not just more raw material, more finished product, more working brain cells. One detail most people miss: your body absorbs this compound poorly on its own, but adding a squeeze of lemon or any source of vitamin C dramatically improves uptake. A cup of green tea with lemon in the morning is not just a pleasant habit, it's a targeted delivery system for your brain's repair system. A box of green tea costs $3 to $5, which is 50 to 100 cups, somewhere between 3 and 10 cents each. And then there's turmeric, which connects back to the brain in a way that most people have never heard. Everyone knows turmeric reduces inflammation. That's been said 1,000 times. What almost nobody knows is that turmeric contains a compound separate from the one everyone talks about that was shown in a 2014 study to increase neural stem cell activity from roughly 50% to 80%. And it wasn't just making more cells. Those cells were maturing into actual functional neurons. Now, the more well-known compound in turmeric helps too. It protects stem cells and stimulates their growth, but your body barely absorbs it on its own. Almost all of it passes straight through. A study found that taking it with ordinary black pepper increased absorption by 2,000%. 20 times more reaches your bloodstream. Turmeric without black pepper is basically wasted. A teaspoon of turmeric with a pinch of black pepper and eggs in soup in warm water, that's a meaningful dose for about 5 to 10 cents. So look at what's actually on this list now and see how it all connects. The dark chocolate mobilizes the repair cells that fix your blood vessels. The overnight fast flips the metabolic switch that doubles your gut's regenerative power. The ginger clears out the zombie cells that were suppressing your stem cells in the first place. The green tea feeds the brain's stem cell system directly. And the turmeric with black pepper amplifies neural stem cell activity and protects the new cells being produced. Each one is addressing a different bottleneck. Together, they're clearing the road from 5 directions at once. None of it costs more than $1 a day. Most of it costs less than a quarter. And all of it is backed by published, peer-reviewed research. Now, I need to be honest with you because honesty matters more than keeping you watching. This is not a cure. You cannot undo 20 years of decline with a cup of tea and a square of chocolate. If you have a medical condition, you need proper medical care. None of this replaces that. But what this research says more clearly every year is that your stem cells are still in there. They're in your bone marrow, in your gut, in your brain. They haven't quit. The pathways that activate them still work. What's been missing is the right signals, and what's been getting in the way is an environment full of inflammation and zombie cells and a metabolism stuck in the wrong gear. Every food on this list fixes one of those problems. Together, they fix all of them. Less than $1 a day, less than you spend on coffee. And the published science says it can double the output of the system your body already has for repairing itself. Your stem cells haven't given up on you. Give them a reason to get back to work.